Metaphysical Poetry, The Sun Rising John Donne, Part 2. Love, all alike, no season knows nor clime, nor hours, days, months, which are the rags of time. John Donne, 16th century English poet, founder of the metaphysical poetry movement, is considered to have written some of the most beautiful love poems in his time. Donne's idea about the love is similar to the Renaissance concept. In Donne poetry, there is always an intellectual analysis of emotions, a conflict between intellect and emotions, body and soul. According to Neoplatonism, love is the main thing that binds all things together. Love doesn't change with the season or climate. It is the ultimate truth. Love is timeless. It is not disturbed by the rags of time. It is the ultimate truth. John Donne, born in a Roman Catholic family, was converted to Anglicanism and later became a priest. He born and brought up as a Catholic in a period where Anglican nationalism is predominant. He could not obtain a degree from Oxford or Cambridge because of his religion. Donne is a poet with unified sensibility. He expressed feeling and thoughts with the use of fantastic conceits. Metaphysical poet is a term that was created by Samuel Johnson. The details are discussed in previous video. According to Donne, love is the most important thing. All wealth are just alchemy or dust compared with love. John Donne was the most outstanding of the English metaphysical poet and one of the greatest writers of the English prose. He is known as the founder of the metaphysical poet. Donne was born in London in a Roman Catholic family. His time was during the period of theological and political unrest in Europe. He studied in University of Oxford and University of Cambridge, but he didn't take any degree from either university. It was a period where Anglican nationalism was predominant. He was Catholic, and because of his religion, he couldn't take any degree from either university. He is known as the founder of the metaphysical poet, a term created by Samuel Johnson. George Herbert, Richard Crashaw, Andrew Marvell, and John Cleveland are other metaphysical poets. In his poem Ecstasy, John Donne says, "Love's mysteries in soul do grow, but yet the body is his book." According to the Neoplatonic concept, love is the main thing that binds all things together. According to Donne, human body is used as a mirror of physical love experienced between people. There is a conflict between emotion and intellect in his poem, a conflict between body and soul. Human body is used as a mirror of physical love experienced between people, a mirror that reflects its own image. Platonic love excludes the idea of body, but according to Donne, body and soul both are important. Poems by John Donne: The Flea, A Valediction Forbidding Morning, The Dream, The Sun Rising, The Good Morrow, The Canonization. Metaphysical conceit. Metaphysical conceit is a figure of speech. What is figure of speech? It is a word and phrase that has meaning other than the literal meaning. Example, simile and metaphor. Simile means comparison between like object. Metaphor, comparison between unlike object. Example for simile: love is a battlefield, brave as a lion, her eyes are as blue roses. Simile is about direct comparison. And metaphor, that means comparison between unlike object. All the world is a stage, the camel is the ship of the desert, and so on. Here it is about indirect comparison. We use as and like in simile. In metaphor, we just compare the unlike object. We compare the unlike object, like all the world is stage, the camel is the ship of desert. In simile, we use as or like, her eyes are as blue roses, and so on. What is metaphysical conceit? It is an extended metaphor or extended metaphor between objects that appear to be unrelated. It is used to build a deeper understanding of the speaker's emotional state or to explore poet consciousness. Example, in the play Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare make the use of metaphysical conceits. Romeo and Juliet, an iconic story of love and passion, whose death unite their families. In Act 3, Scene 5, the Romeo has left and the Juliet was weeping. Shakespeare compares Juliet to a boat in a storm. Shakespeare uses metaphysical conceit and compares her eyes to a sea, her tears to a storm, her sighs to the stormy winds, and her body to a boat in a storm. Here, the use of metaphysical conceits are intended to build a deeper understanding of the speaker's emotional state. Many of John Donne's poems, including the Sun Rising, uses the metaphysical conceit for what he is famous for. Features of Donne's poetry: wit, complex metaphor, far-fetched imageries, unbelievable hyperbole, that means the extreme exaggeration used to make a point. It is a literary device. And scholarly allusion, it is also a literary device. That means a brief indirect reference to a person, place, things, or well-known story. Sun Rising, the most beautiful and charming love poem by John Donne, begin in a conversational tune. The speaker and his beloved are lying at bed. In the opening scene, the speaker scolds the sun and calls him a busy old fool, and asks the sun why he is disturbing them through windows and curtains. The poet is complaining about its beaming rays. It disturbs them through windows and curtains. And poet asks the sun why he is doing so. And here sun is conscious and has a watchful personality of a busy old fool. He disturbs the lovers or he annoys the lover. So poet uses two words to express his annoyance: busy old fool and saucy pedantic wretch. Poet says sun is a saucy pedantic wretch. Saucy means who show disrespect, who disrespect others. And wretch, an unhappy person. So sun is a saucy pedantic wretch, an unhappy person, and it intrudes into the lover's room. The speaker's love affair is most important thing to the universe. Sun is an intruder. Must thy motion lovers season run? He asks the sun, why should lovers be controlled by the sun? Love knows no season, climates, hours, days, or acts of time. Even time is an enemy. Here sun is conscious and a watchful personality. The poet called the sun saucy pedantic wretch. He asks the sun leave the lovers and go and disturb some others. Go child-led schoolboys and sore apprentices. Go tell court's huntsman that the king will ride. Call country ants to harvest officers. And leave the lovers alone. Lovers are not controlled by time or sun. Schoolboys, sore apprentices, court's huntsman. All activities are bound to time, but love is not bound to time. Love, all alike, no season knows nor clime, nor hours, days, months, which are the acts of time. He asks the sun, go and bother late schoolboys, sore apprentices, and to tell the court's huntsman that king will ride, and call country ants to harvest offices. Here, the poet is expressing his consciousness with a hyperbolic assertion, like sun is a conscious and watchful personality. According to Platonism, there are two types of realities. The reality which is perceptible but unintelligible. That means that reality we feel it but we cannot define it. And the reality which is imperceptible but intelligible. We can define it with reason, but we cannot feel it. According to John Donne, love is most important thing. Sun is an intruder. Why? It is about his consciousness. It's a reality which is perceptible but unintelligible, that we can realize only by experience. It cannot define with reason. For John Donne, the love is the most important thing, that is a reality that he feel it, but he cannot define it. But he defined with hyperbolic assertions such as Sun is a conscious and watchful personality. Love is not bound to the time. The lovers can realize or feel that reality, but for others it is unintelligible. The poet exploring the features of his consciousness. Metaphysical poetry is less concerned with expressing feeling than with analyzing it. Platonic love excludes the body, but according to John Donne, human body is used as a mirror of physical love experienced between people. Body and soul, both are important, and love is the main things that binds all things together. It is a Neoplatonic concept or Renaissance concept. And to Donne, human body and soul, both are important. The love is the most important thing to the universe. Even Sun is an intruder. So the poem is to pretend that each of these subjective states of feeling is an objective truth. Poet asks the sun why he thinks his beams are so strong. Thy beams, so revered and strong, why should thou think? He says he could eclipse them by simply closing his eyes, but he is not doing because after he cannot see his beloved. He does not want to lose the sight of his lover. His beams are nothing compared to the power and glory of their love. His beloved eyes are more brilliant than sunlight. I could eclipse and cloud them with a wing, but that I would not lose her sight so long. His beams are nothing compared to the power and glory of their love. His beloved eyes are more brilliant than sunlight. If her eyes have not blinded thine, look, and tomorrow late tell me. Poet asks the sun if he is not blinded by the beauty of the lovers. Take a look around and come back tomorrow. And tomorrow late tell me whether both the Indias of spice and mine beware to left them or lie here with me. He is asking the sun, come back and tell tomorrow if all wealth and richness of the world are still outside or lying in his bed. Whether both the Indias of spice means West Indies and Indian subcontinent, famous for valuable spices. But his love is above all wealth and richness. His lover is above all kings. Whole world is located in his bed. All the world's riches are in his bed. His lover is above all wealth, gold, and kings. In the third stanza, poet is praising his lover. The poet says she is all street and all princess. Nothing else is real. Compared to what he has, all other wealth are unimportant or dust or alchemy. Princess simply played having countries, but compared to what he has, all honor is mimic and all the wealth is alchemy. And his beloved is like all kingdom and he is the real king. Love is the most important thing in the world. All other wealth are unimportant. They feel it, they are in their own microcosm bliss, a metaphysical experience that is beyond words, a reality that is perceptible but unintelligible. All honors mimic, all wealth alchemy, world is contracted to the bed. The poet says sun is happy, but half as happy as dawn. Nothing else is half as important as lover, because the whole world has been contracted to their room. The poet is asking the sun to shine on their bed because their bed is the center of the universe. Sun duty is warming up the world, but his lover is his whole world. So poet is asking the sun to shine on the bed because he feels that the bed is the center of the universe. Nothing else is important. Shine here to us and toward everywhere. This bed thy center is, this walls thy sphere. At the beginning of the poem, poet asks the sun, do not disturb us and go and bother someone else. But at the last stanza he says that Their bed is the center of the universe, so shine on their bed. Feeling of lovers are outside of time, and that their emotions are the most important things in the world. It is divine. Kingdom, wealth, gold, everything is just a dust compared to what they have. Even sun is nothing compared with the cosmic force of his divine. Metaphysical conceit in Sun Rising. The first one, personification of sun into an old man. And here, poet is stronger than sun. And conversation between a living things and a celestial object. Must thy motion lovers isn't run. Love is not bound to time. So love is the most important thing. It's a philosophical discussion. And here man's life is superimposed over the universe. She is all states and all wealth. According to poet, his lover is all state and wealth. Other things are unimportant. Poet uses extended metaphor or metaphysical conceit to express his feeling or explore his consciousness. And he uses hyperboles like all honor is mimic and all wealth is alchemy. The poem Sun Rising contains metaphysical conceits and intellectual reasoning that give us a deeper understanding of speaker's emotional state. And the use of metaphysical conceit make these most charming and successful love poems forever.